Students, welcome again. Rajna Srivastav here. I am your science teacher from Ikra Primary English Medium School branch. Now I am going to start again the same chapter number 4, which is part 2 of this chapter. Now let's see about hardness. When you press different materials with your hand, some of them may be hard to compress while others can be easily compressed. Take a metal key and try to sketch with it. The surface of a piece of wood, aluminium, a piece of stone, a nail, candle, chalk, any other material or object. You can easily sketch some materials while some cannot be sketched so easily. Materials which can be compressed or scratched easily are called soft, while some other materials which are difficult to compress are called hard. For example, cotton or sponge is soft while iron is hard. In appearance, material can have different properties like luster, hardness, be rough or smooth. Can you think of other properties that describe the appearance of a material? So students, based on hardness of material, the material are classified as hard and soft. The materials that are difficult to compress and scratch, for example, iron, wood, stone and glass are classified as hard materials, whereas that can be compressed or scratched easily are known as soft material. For example, cotton, sponge, rubber, wool, etc. That's why a chair is always made up of wood and plastics because its purpose is to sustain the load of a person who is sitting on it. And similarly, your pillow, your bed sheets and your mattresses are made of soft cotton materials. And now let's see about soluble or insoluble. Activity 4. Collect samples of some solid substances such as sugar, salt, chalk powder, sand and sawdust. Take 5 glasses or beakers. Fill each one of them about 2/3 with water. Add a small amount of sugar to the first glass, salt to the second, and similarly add a small amount of other substances into the other glasses. Stir the contents of each of them with a spoon. Wait for a few minutes. Observe what happens to the substance added to water. Note your observations as shown in table 4.3. Here we have list of material. We have a list of material soluble and insoluble in water. For example, sugar, salt are soluble in water, whereas sand, chalk powder, sawdust, mustard oil, coconut oil are insoluble in water. Understood? So a soluble material will completely dissolve in water like this, whereas an insoluble material like oil will not dissolve in the water and will form a separate layer like this. Got it, children? Now, children, you will notice that some substances have completely disappeared or dissolved in water. We say that these substances are soluble in water. Other substances do not mix with water and do not disappear. Even after we stir for a long time, these substances are insoluble in water. Water plays an important role in the functioning of our body because it can dissolve a large number of substances. Do liquids also dissolve in water? Now we will study about solubility of material in water. So the substances that completely disappear or dissolve in water are soluble in water. For example, salt and sugar. Whereas that substances that do not mix with water and do not disappear even after we stir for a long time, for example, sand and oil, are said to be insoluble in water. Understood? Students, you have to read activity 5 from yourself. The next property which need to be studied is whether material will float or sink in water. While doing activity 4, you might have noticed that the insoluble solid separated out from water. You may have also noticed this with some liquids in activity 5. Some of these materials that did not mix with water floated to the surface of water. Other may have sunk to the bottom of the tumbler, right? Students, you must have observed that when you put a plastic bottle or a rubber ball or a paper board in water, it generally floats in water. Whereas if you put sand, stone, coins, etc. in water, they will generally sink in the water. Understood, children? Now next, we notice many examples of objects that float in water or sink. Dried leaves fall on the surface of a pond, a stone that you throw into this pond, few drops of honey that you let fall into a glass of water. What happens to all of these? The idea is the object that are denser than water will sink in the water, whereas the objects that are less denser than water will float in the water. This means that the density of sand, stone and coin is higher than the density of water, whereas the density of a plastic bottle or a rubber ball, a paper board is less than the density of water. Understood? So the last property which need to study is transparency. Based on transparency, the material are divided into transparent, opaque and translucent. So children, let's first know about the transparent material. You might have played the game of hide and seek. Think of some places where you would like to hide so that you are not seen by others. Why did you choose those places? Would you have to try to hide behind a glass of window? Obviously not, as your friends can see through that and spot you. Can you see through all the materials? Those substances or materials through which things can be seen are called transparent. Glass, water, air and some plastic are examples of transparent materials. Shopkeepers usually prefer to keep biscuits, sweets and other eatables in transparent containers of glass or plastics so that buyers can easily see these items. On the other hand, there are some materials through which you are not able to see. These materials are called opaque. You cannot tell what is kept in a closed wooden box, a cupboard, a cardboard carton, or a metal container. Wood, cardboard, and metals are examples of opaque materials. Do we find that we can group all materials and objects without any confusion as either opaque or transparent? So now you must have understood that why your mother keeps spices in transparent glass bottles so that without even opening, if she can pick up the spice which she wants to use similarly. Why is chemistry laboratories beakers are made with the transparent glasses material so that you can observe any change in the color while doing chemical reactions. While always in a beaker shop, bakery shop in the front of you will find transparent glass without so that you can choose your favorite food just by looking at it. And that is the reason that we have wooden opaque doors in our homes so that no one can look into our homes from outside. Understood? Now look at this picture given here, figure 4.7. Children, this is a transparent object because the boy here is capable of seeing on the other side of this object. Now this is a opaque object like we have given the examples here, that wood, plastic or cardboard, because the boy here is not capable of seeing the other side of the object. Now this is a translucent object because the boy can see partially through it. Okay, got it? Let's see activity 6, children. Take a sheet of paper and look through it towards a lighted bulb. Make a note of your observation. Now put 2-3 drops of some oil and spread it on the sheet of paper. Look again towards the lighted bulb through that portion of the paper on which the oil has been spread. Do you find that the bulb is more clearly visible than before? But can you see the clearly through the oil paper? Is everything on the paper side of it visible? Perhaps not. The materials through which objects can be seen but not clearly are known as translucent. Student, let's see the difference between transparent material, opaque material and translucent material. Those substances or materials through which things can be seen are called transparent material. For example, glass, water, air and some plastics. Opaque materials. Materials through which we are not able to see are called opaque materials. For example, wood, metals, plastics, cardboard, wall, tree, etc. And translucent material. The materials through which objects can be seen but not clearly are known as translucent material. For example, butter paper, oily patch on paper. Understood? Got it, children? Students, let's see about sorting of material or objects. So before adding up this chapter, it is important to understand that why sorting of materials or objects is needed. You must have seen that is in a library that the books are always arranged in different sections according to the subject and classes, so that it becomes very easy to look at the particular book. Similarly, in the grocery shop, you will see that biscuits are placed in one section and the fruits, vegetables are placed in another section. Your favorite drinks are placed in another section, and it becomes very easy to look at a particular item. Similarly, dividing these materials into groups makes it convenient to study this property and also observe any patterns in these properties. With this, we come to end the chapter. Hope this video is understanding and useful for you all. Okay, understood? Thank you very much.